Hey everyone, it's Rig, and this is week 2 of the Microdose, where you learn everything you need to learn about NLTP A-Team in just 10 quick minutes, because we're going to breeze through all of this week's games in about 2 minutes each. And this time I'm actually showing you the timer, not that any of you asked. So let's start out. Great to see Funky Spud here. I don't think he was actually streaming. Maybe Choppa was showing him. Maybe I'm wrong. But let's start out with We the People versus Miami Dolphin. We want to go left or right? Let's start right here. Sugar Hill here. Gonna wait a second for it to buffer. What I do know is we the people got absolutely demolished here. We're gonna watch Anti, aka Yeah, have the flag here. See what happens, but then Catalyst is able to get out. I'll stop talking for a little bit, see what we can see. Circle almost had a good cap, but Aster was able to save it, and looks like I spiked myself to get a cap, giving the Dolphins a 3-1 lead. This was kind of the theme of the night. I think all 4 of us were some mix of rusty and just not playing well, which eventually led to me getting traded off the team, but it is what it is. You gotta make the right choices. I will say that, I mean, this one's going to be different because I was in this game, so I know what's happening, but I will say that Zion and Aster are some pretty prolific offenders, and that despite all the memes, Jarvis is turning into a really good defender. So let's watch a little bit on the right side this time. Homie has a TagPro, and Circle also has one, so Anti gets a flag. Jarvis has a rolling. They're able to turn that into a cap. That's beautiful. It turns it into a 4-cap game with 6.5 to go. We're about out of time. Moral of this is get your practice in, guys. Alright, let's reset that. Get out of this one. Let's start Nips versus BCC. I believe Nips were able to kind of run with this one as well. We'll go to Willow here. What I do know is that you're seeing Nips on top of like all the leaderboards. Here you see them starting out with a 5-cap lead. We might have a first in Microdose where we might run out of game time before our 2-minute timer. We'll see about that. I'm going to watch Prime with the flag here. These are some pretty crazy jerseys. I don't know what the heck. I guess those are the Cap City ones. Rick with a great out to keep Gilly from capping there. Rick is showing that he's, Rick almost gets the nub stuff there with the bomb. I don't know if that has its own name. Nice save by someone. Looks like Perp. Also a trade on this team. It looks like Active's going to end up being on offense for them. That'll be an interesting one. I think they'll end up being a little bit better for that. Poet's been a great ball for them, but they need a change. Poet not quite able to make the save. Instead, one of the Nips gets a cap. Who knows? They're all capable of it. It's been pretty awesome seeing P-Chip absolutely dominating on A-Team like he did on B-Team. It's pretty cool to see a transition like that. So here we see an 8-0 win with P-Chip getting 2 caps along with 22 tags and 9 returns and 3 pups. Right now, P-Chip is the pup leader by something like 10%, which is just absolutely insane. I hope Elegant's watching and is proud. I don't know if we'll even get to any more game time, so I think you saw kind of the tenor of that game, and you know, it is what it is. I think Bohemian Cap City still has a lot to go. A lot going for them, I should say, but Nips are looking like the team to beat. Let's reset this and go over to the Capaliers versus the Puppet Capsters. These are 2 teams that I didn't think would be too great when the season started, but they're both doing pretty decently. And I also, when I see their 3-letter acronyms, I don't know who they are. So fortunately, the YouTube title had their full team name in. It's pretty cool seeing these 2 people in the bottom right. I have no idea who this is. I could probably look it up, but I'm not going to. They're not familiar at all. Now I'm more curious about that than the game, honestly. Huh. I started to get a little nervous about doxing, but then I realized that they're doing this to themselves, so now I'm kind of interested. Oh, it's I Love HD. That's hilarious. I didn't know that that's what HD looked like. Well, actually knowing I Love HD, it could very well not be what they look like. So, just a trickster there. I wasn't really watching. We're down to we're that's the end of that. This is gonna turn into like the worst content ever, but because no one's making content except for Jarvis and Vic, like this is what you guys get. So by the way, Bert was on the top of that scoreboard. I didn't do much stat looking this week, but I did see Bert got the 10 degas or total gasp, I should say. This is like fucking replays or something. So anyway, I don't know if like everyone's playing a joke or if like Bert got Make-A-Wished or what, but I mean that's kind of weird. So I guess I should say good job, Bert, but I'll have to actually watch to see, and I don't really watch, so that's my analysis for that game. So good job, guys. I'll look it up. It looks like the Cavaliers swept. They won on aggregate 24-11, so that's dope. 80 Degrees versus Legends is split in Temple. I think we're due to go to the left side here. Willow. 80 Degrees, so I said earlier, Nips are the team to beat. It seems like 80 Degrees are in that same category. They beat up on We the People, who we learned isn't actually a good team, at least not so far. They will be. Now they seem to have beat up on LST some, which, while I still don't think they're a top team, they're a formidable team. Space Tiger Flaccid should be a good offense, and jokes aside, BBB's a good defender. So anyway, let's watch the right side some. Oh yeah, so Noise was in. This is fascinating to me. Noise was in for In the Someday, and despite that, they still demolished. And In the Someday, like potentially they're the best player in NLTP, they were still able to sweep and win on aggregate 22-13. So if you're in the Someday in 80 Degrees, you're feeling really good about your shot at the Nooper here. Let's watch Flaccid hold here. Flaccid's a good holder, and they have they had a TagPro. Yeah, there's a cap. I think what Space was able to do with that TagPro kind of opened things up. But Noise has had a really good week. Space with another cap. Looks like LST was up 4-1 here, and actually looking at the scoreboard, they won 4-1, but then they lost the second half 9-1. So that stinks. So we're not going to see any more scoring. To finish my thought, Noise has always been an amazing borderline A and B player. It looks like he had a really good week on A, so you love to see that. Hate to see the fact that I totally messed. I was looking at the wrong game, dude. I shouldn't do this right after my chemo. This is ridiculous how bad I am at this. Anyway, looks like 80 Degrees actually came back. They lost this 3-4, but then they won the second half 6-1. So they won 9-5, and then they won the next one 13-8. So again, that's my analysis. Whatever. Amy told me to have more zingers, but my brain is literally so fried from pumping poison into it that I have no zingers. So you guys can all come up with creative ways to go fuck yourselves, I guess. The last one here is Land Before Timers versus Young Hotties. Young Hotties, I think a lot of people thought would be doing a little better than they are. They were able to get the sweep though, so shouldn't count them out yet. They did trade Real Duck, who I think was probably the most polarizing player going into the game. So, and Jay Swan seemed to dial it in way more. I think they struggled a bit week 1, but it looks like had an awesome week 2. Here you see Freak, who I also realized last week that I was calling Renegade Freak and Freak Renegade, or some combination of the two. Looks like Tinderfell might have been able to make that turn. So I'd apologize for that, but I've been pretty upfront with this being very low quality and unabashedly so. Really good bomb by J-Swan, but not quite able to get it. This has been a fun couple minutes to watch. It's been holdy, but the chasers have been able to squeeze it in. I think maybe there's a little lack of anti, but it's Sugar Hill, so it's kind of hard to justify anti on such a shitty map. You can stream into the B team LST game to hear my thoughts on Sugar Hill, but I guess opinions on maps are like assholes too. J-Spawn gets an awesome cap there. I'm pretty upfront with my love of J-Spawn, and it's pretty good to see them have such a good game. Let's see if 2P1S can squeeze this one in. Thought about it, but Mike Trout's just a little too good for that. It looks like we're out of time. This looked like maybe one of the better matches to watch, although maybe it was just as half they tied. Anyway, those are the four, or the Jesus Christ. Those are the 5 matches for the week. Almost all sweeps, in fact. Yeah, there's only... No, it was all sweeps. All sweeps. So we need a little better parity this upcoming week, or you guys are just gonna hear me just struggle. But anyway, thanks for listening. I'm very loosely considering doing this for B team for last week and or this upcoming week. So let me know if you get to the end of the video and are actually interested in that. And it'll depend on how I'm feeling. But see you guys next week.